This meeting is being recorded.
All right. So as we commence, I just want to now give you the link to the actual LMS system. So just give me 1 second. I will post the link in the chat. It's going to come to everybody. And what you will do is click on this link and it will take you to a screen that looks like what I'm about to share with you. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So if you click on the link that I just placed in the chat, this will take you to our Genius platform, which is the training management system that will take you into our learning sessions or section of the system, which we call the LMS. So right here in the log on section, it's indicating log on, you will type the username that I sent to you. There's no spaces in the username, and you type it exactly as I placed it in your chat with your first name and your last name together. First initials or the first letter is capitalized, and then you will put in the password that I gave you.
I have one question.
Yes.
I see your name. I see your name being inserted there, so I could just put my name over that same thing then.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So your login name goes where the login information I've given you, that's your first and last name. Capitalize the first letter of your first name, no spaces. Capitalize the first letter of your last name, and then you would move down to password, and everybody basically has a temporary password. So you would see that you would type that in. It's the same for everybody, so it doesn't even matter. But once you press sign in, it's not going to happen to me, but it will happen to you. You will be asked to change your password. So can everybody give me a thumbs up if you are here where I am? Thank you, Ms. Evans. Great. And if you don't know how to give a thumbs up, just give a yes.
Oh, come on, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Lattimore. Okay, Mr. Bodie? Great. All right, Ms. Hinsey and Ms. Young. Thank you. I see Ms. that one.
Ms. Archer, I tried to get my cursor to get on login.
Trying to get your cursor to do, say that again?
To key in my username.
Okay. Did you click into the login box right here?
Login?
Excuse me, Miss Molly Archer.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. We are unable to log in.
You said the code was sent to our email addresses, right?
So in the chat for the Zoom link, that in the Zoom window that you're looking at?
Yeah, we saw the chat. We got to the Genius page.
Yes.
But we don't have the sign-in information.
So if you go to the chat, I sent you a message. You got a message from me that gives you a logon name and a password.
Oh, no, we don't have that.
You can choose which one you want to use. You don't have it?
No, ma'am. We don't have it.
Okay, so you're checking in the chat?
Yes, we are in the chat. That's what we got the link.
Who should I send it to, Miss Hinsey or Miss Moss?
Either one, it doesn't matter. Both of us are using the same computer right now.
Okay, no problem. I will send it to Moss. Okay, can you check your chat, please?
Okay.
Hey, Ms. Archer,
Yes, sir.
Take that out of-
I am still having difficulty keying. I have the information with name and
Yes.
password, right?
See?
And I'm trying to log in.
Okay.
I know your name is still on the screen.
Yes.
I'm trying to get the cursor to access it, but
Okay, so who was that? Mr. Mortimer?
Yes.
That was you having the issue?
No, I'm in.
Okay, it's Mr. Bodie. Now, Mr.
yeah,
Bodie,
I'm having
you're
it.
not typing on my screen. You're going to
Okay, that's
click the link that I placed in the Zoom chat. So if you go to the Zoom chat, there's a button that says chat at the very bottom of your screen. So choose that button. Once you choose that button that says chat, in there is a message from me. You see that?
I'm looking now.
You got it? Mr. Bodie, waiting for the thumbs up or the yes?
I used to look for but you mentioned chat. I find it.
Okay, is there anyone near Mr. Bodie?
No, I'm upstairs. I'm away
You're
from
upstairs?
everyone.
Okay.
I think I should video calling.
I thinking you should, Mr. Mortimer. Thank you.
Mr. Bodie, you could get one of those persons right out there in the,
Huh.
one of those young persons right out there, in the hall. Let them, do it for you.
And let me do that. Let me be able to assist.
Huh?
Okay, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Listen.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait a few minutes for Mr. Bodie, but I want to reconfirm if Ms. Hinsey and Ms. Young found their logon credential.
ODI all day, ODI. On the spot.
Thumbs up for finding your credentials, Ms. Hinsey and Ms. Young.
Yes, we see it. We see it. We're signing
Okay,
on
great.
now.
Sign on, okay?
All right, wonderful. So now, did you find the link where you're going to click so that you can see this genius screen that I have up here? Did you find that one? Got it?
Here we,
Okay, great. So everyone should be here at the Genius window with your logon name inserted and the password that was given to you. Once you click sign in, you will get a window that asks you to change your password. So let's go ahead on and do that. Click sign in. What you will be inserting now would be in the old password, you will put the very same password, the welcome !1. Don't forget the capital W. And then you will create a new password, one that's going to be unique for you. Make sure you have a capital letter, make sure you're using a special character and also a number. And it must be 8 characters long. I'll give you a few moments to go ahead and create your new password. You will enter the new password twice, so it's a confirmation.
you can save it. You should just, and you see if she's in it twice.
And if you're having any issues, please let me know.
Your password, confirm your password. Let's do that again.
Type it in.
Oh, let's see.
You got it?
Trying to get in now, Miss
Okay.
Molly.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Great. So we have a thumbs up from Miss Hinsey and Miss Young, and I gave Miss Young the credentials, but Miss Hinsey, of course, you will do the very same thing once you get to your computer.
Yeah.
Great. Anyone else can give me a thumbs up that you were able to change your password? Thank you, Miss Evans.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's Miss Marguerite. Great. All right, so I think I'm waiting on Mr. Mortimer.
No, I was saying long time. I waiting for you all.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, and I want to check
Yeah,
back in with
I've
Mr.
been in,
Bodie.
I've been in long time too, so you
Oh,
don't wait
I
on me.
apologize. I apologize for the delay. But I want to
Okay.
check back in with Mr. Bodie. Mr. Bodie, did you have success with getting your password typed in and accessing the Genius platform? I'm gonna check back in with Mr. Bodie.
Ms. Archer, I have one of my officers trying to assist me right now, but I ain't gonna let that hold you all up now.
No, no, no. Okay, so can I please speak with your officer? This is crucial. So if you can't get you logged on, then it's pointless. So is that
Archer, I
officer
have
there?
Ms. Archer,
Yes, sir.
I have Ms. Pratt here assisting me here. You can speak there.
Good morning. Trying
Hi,
to
morning.
find
How are you? Okay,
good.
so we are getting Mr. Bodie logged into the LMS platform. In the chat,
Mhm.
there is a link to the platform. So can you please open the chat message in the Zoom window? Choose the link that I placed there. It's a long
Okay,
link. Yes,
I
ma'am.
see it.
Great.
Thank you.
Mr. Bodie, you watching?
I was looking at the wrong area.
Okay,
That's
so
what happened.
once you click that link, you will see the screen that I'm sharing pop up for him in another window, correct?
Actually,
Yeah.
I think on mute.
All right. Confirmation?
One moment.
Just 1 minute.
Let get back to the screen. Right, so let me mute it.
Yeah. Okay. You can put it in the box.
I don't think. Stick receipt.
You can put it in front of me. And then- Okay, so, how do you wanna go? What do you think? Can't be fine now, you know?
All right, so can you let me know where you're at, please? And what do you see on your screen?
The Bodie's changing his password.
I'm sorry?
I'm changing my password now.
Great, confirmation to change the password. Make sure, Mr. Bodie, you remember this one. I don't want to say write it down, but if you have to, you write it down.
Okay, the username remain the same.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I bet. The new password now.
All right, and so as Mr. Bodie gets logged in, I have to do a few more steps, but I will, of course, sign in. And my screen looks a whole lot different from what you would see. So just apologies for that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a test user today. So just give me a second.
Look at the screen from here and work from there.
I don't think the password. Hello, Ms. Archer.
Hi, go ahead.
Ms. Archer. Yeah, I have already changed my password, but I also want to key in on my laptop. Just need you
Say
to
that
accept
again?
me.
Say
I'm
it
also
one more
trying to
time for me,
bring it
please,
up on
Mr.
my
Booty.
laptop as well. I'm trying to
I'm
bring it
sorry,
up on my laptop as
why am I not hearing Mr. Booty?
He said he trying to bring it up on his laptop also.
Okay, not a problem.
I don't know if he'd be able to use the two of them one time.
No, he should be fine. But now bringing it up on your laptop, you have to now type in the web link. So it's going to be a little bit difficult, but you can do it. I'm not too sure why you want it on your laptop as well. Can I ask? Bodhi?
He's
Yep.
trying to log in on Zoom from his laptop so he can use the computer to see the website as
Yes,
we
but
go through it.
he would have both screens open. Can you just show him how to go back and forth, please? I think that would be easier.
Yeah, you can go
Good,
back
that'd be
and forth on
fine.
the desktop.
Yes, so if you just remain on
Okay.
the desktop,
Cool.
can you show him that he would have
Let's
two
go.
tabs open? And I really don't need him to flip-flop today. I just needed him to log on. So once he can log
Right.
on and see that screen, that's all I really need him to do in terms of participating. He can watch the Zoom video as we proceed. So there's no need to try to do both.
Okay.
today.
All right. Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, don't mind me. I'm just
All right, thank
getting
you.
prepared for you guys once everyone is ready. Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. So once again, and when I sent out the video, I apologize. You know what? I have to leave it all in there because I can't stop the recording right now. But we would have gone through what we call the log on process. That was getting you into the Genius platform, using your user credentials, the username and password, so that now you're able to look at courses that we have offered for you on the learning management system. For you right now, you can only see the course called Communications. Am I correct? Everyone can see this course right here that says Communication.
Yes.
Everyone can see this, correct?
Yes,
Can I
yes.
get a thumbs up? Thank you very much. Okay. So for me, or who I've logged in as, my alias is Mermaid Blue today. So Mermaid Blue has two courses that she can currently take in the LMS system. Whichever courses you have enrolled in or you have registered for, you will be able to see here on the Genius dashboard. So if you have 10 courses, you will be able to see your 10 thumbnails here for you to enter your courses and take your courses. So this is our home screen for Genius. It's called the dashboard. We have a few options over on the left side. Today, we won't really worry about those. Maybe when we get into a more advanced training for the LMS, we can look at the dashboard options. But for today, we're going to look at the course Communications. So to begin your course, you would select the Go to Course button. Notice that on this thumbnail, there's the name of the course, the duration of the course or duration of which you have access to the course. For us right now, this course was available from February and it doesn't end until July 31st. You will be able to see your current grade. If you have left the course without completing it, you will be able to see that here. Of course, your instructor and it will indicate that your course is still in progress and not completed. So for us, we're going to choose Go to Course. All right. Was everyone successful in accessing their LMS? So now we're in the LMS. It's time to start learning. Of course, Mermaid Blue has 2 courses. Everyone on the call should only have 1, communications, and you're in the test section. Thumbs up for those who may be able to let me know. Great. Thank you, Ms. Evans. Everyone else with me. All right, Mr. Bodie, I'm giving you a check-in, making sure that you are with us. Thank you, Ms. Indy. Just checking back in with you, Mr. Bodie. Great, awesome. Okay, so once we enter the LMS, our LMS is called Buzz. So we started off in Genius. Genius is the platform that we use for the training management. We call it the training management system, because that's where we manage all of our users and persons who are coming into the courses. Once we go on our dashboard for Genius, we end up here in the Buzz platform, which is the learning management system where all of our learning takes place. So this is what we also call the dashboard for Buzz. And whenever you start hearing Buzz, then know that you've been introduced to Buzz already. This is the LMS. Your username will be in the left upper corner. So yours should say Larry Bodie, Fiora Evans, and so forth. There is an arrow that you can choose next to your name that gives you access to your profile tab. Here, you can choose to change your password if you feel it's not something that you may remember. You can do that right here, right now. I don't recommend it, but you do have that option once you get into the system. You would also be able to go into the settings options, but for right now, you're going to leave your settings as is. There's some policy information that you can read about at your leisure, but it also gives you your logout window. And of course, we're not logging out right now, but when you are all done with today's training, you can feel free to choose the arrow and log out. Any questions so far? Okay, so right next to your profile button, there are a few other options. And if you just hover over each of them, they'll tell you exactly what they are. So the first says, order your courses. Well, there's no need to order your courses right now because you only have 1. But as soon as you start to get 2, 3, 4, and multiple courses in there, you can put your courses in order. There's an announcements option. So if your instructor sends an announcement out to all of the students or just to you, whatever it may be, you will be able to select here and you will see the announcements that your instructor may be sending out. You also have an emailing system within Buzz. So you are able to view your messages. So outside of just sending a grand announcement, a generic announcement, you may also receive emails from your instructor. And you can use this option to go into your inbox. Once you have messages, of course, they will all show up here. And just like your regular emails for Outlook or Gmail, you'll have an inbox, you'll have your sent items, you'll have starred items, archive, and you can have the unread ones. But they will all show up in this list from the instructor. The last option is just the help. If you want to, peruse and see what help options are there, then that's quite fine. All right, so now over on the left side of your window, there is what we call it, this is a hamburger. You see, it looks like that, 2 breads and the meat in the middle, that's the hamburger button. So your hamburger button gives you now access to a lot about your course. Questions on that? Gives you your grades. If you want to go straight to grades, you'll be able to see the notes from your instructor or notes that you make. Of course, the announcement is here as well, and we've already seen these two, announcements and the inbox. So we have multiple ways that we can actually see or get to our announcements and the inbox. Your calendar, if your instructor puts together a calendar, you will be able to see that here. Any questions so far? Notice that once we start perusing through this menu option here, if you want to get back to your dashboard, your main dashboard, that's what the student app is for. So we press the student app and it takes us back to our dashboard, which looks like this, where we see the thumbnails for our courses. Any questions so far? Okay, great. So finally, there's one more menu set of options. Beneath the hamburger, it says courses, to-do list, and the activity stream. For the most part, you're going to just have courses selected because it shows you the courses that you're actually currently enrolled in. The second is a to-do list. If maybe, let's see, you want to be reminded of the actual items that you must do for the course, then you can see the long list of the tests and the quizzes and the things that you need to do. You can pop right to them depending on how you're progressing through the course. The activity stream will also let you know as much activities as you have completed, but of course, we haven't done any as yet. So the courses tab is your generic tab. That's where you will land by default. You will see your courses. And once again, it's time to go into your course. So as you can see, once I place my mouse and I hover over my course, communications, I am enrolled in section 1. It is a test section, but that's fine. That's for the purpose of our training. So this tab, this thumbnail also shows you the current score and how you're progressing through the course. So if you've taken maybe 2 or 3 assessments, you've gotten 100%, this will indicate that you now have a current score of 100%. And you may be, this bar may start to move up to show that you've progressed through the course. There's a start activities button here at the bottom. That arrow indicates that you can move to an activity. And then of course, if you want to see grades, here's another way. So this particular platform is very friendly. You can find what you need in multiple places. But if you just want to get into your course, right now, we will choose the thumbnail. So over the picture that's showing the 2 men, you can just click on it and you will enter your course. The course will now indicate that it's starting. It says, welcome to communications course. It all depends on which course you are in. This could look different. Okay, so you will not always see this message or this graphic. However, now we want to get started. So we just scroll down because it told us, welcome. Great, we're ready to get started with our learning. So we scroll down to the first tab or the first activity. This one we can start with, but I've already been playing with the course, and so I've done some work. For you, you're going to choose getting started. As we go through, I just want to let you know about this window here. As we move through the course, you can actually see how the course is going to progress by looking at the thumbnails here. The first one says getting started. If I choose this right arrow, I can see all of the activities and all of the options and all of the items that I need to go through for getting started. Now, I've left it all there as a template. These are just examples of what you can see. In a real course, your instructor can take out all of these and just probably just leave the course goals and objectives there for you. All right, so note please that this is a template. It is a test course. It's not something that, we would give to an actual learner. But it is to show us that you can have a welcome message, you can have the goals and objectives shown, you can have the course completion information there, all about the instructor. You'll have a navigational guide all the way down to even a discussion board in the Getting Started tab. So this is almost like your chapter 0, right? Just learning about the course. It's always good to go through that, especially for first-time learners. Now, as you see, the next thumbnail says 1. So that's chapter 1. We've left chapter 0, and we're in chapter 1 that says Communications Basics. So we can proceed. We don't have to get started. We can look to see, oh, I wonder how much work I have to do in chapter 1. So chapter 1 shows me these 2 topics. Now, I want to introduce you to these thumbnails, additional thumbnails. Whenever we see a red head, that means you're learning. That brain that has the red circle. There's communication basics that you're going to learn about. There's first impression assessments that you will learn about. Once you are done with your learning, there are blue buttons now. It shows the instructor, that's me, that's the little teacher right here, pointing at a board. When we see these activities or this thumbnail, that means you have to do something. There's some assessment that's going to happen. Okay, so there may be something that you need to do when you get to these 2 options. Your course will continue, and I'm just going to show you chapter 2, and then we will move on. Chapter 2 now begins with the topic public speaking. Under the public speaking topic, that's the new chapter, there's going to be some learning because that's the red head. The topic is going to be the purpose of speech. And as we get to the blue, you may find that there should be some assessments in there. And it goes on and on and on for each of the chapters. Notice we have 7 chapters there. This number 1, I'm going to take that out because I probably left that there as a sample. So what I want us to do, that was just be going through our outline for our course. What I would like for us to do now is to start. So if you can get back up to chapter 0, you can now choose the start option. And that's the little arrow to the right. This is getting started. It's going to say, welcome, welcome, Larry. Welcome, Delarices. Welcome, Marguerite. And whatever we want here, we can place here for the students to read about or know about, or just what we want to say to them. And I'm giving you this because your course, as it is being built out, is the very same way. You can have whatever you want here in your introduction, where you're getting started for the learner. Any questions on that? So this is our chapter 0. It's pretty simple, right? If there's lots of reading, we scroll down, and we can, if you want, you can move from thumbnail to thumbnail, or you can scroll to the very bottom of your screen, and we can now progress by using the arrow buttons, the progress, the forward button, or if we want to go back, we can use the back button that speaks to the previous activity. But we'll move forward to see what all we have to learn about in the Getting Started chapter 0. We select next, and it says, welcome to 7th grade math. Of course, that's not what this is. It's just there as a template. That would be saying, welcome to communications. If I place it in here as, just a short, brief message. But this would say, welcome to communications, welcome to customs orientation course, and then, of course, another message to the student. Where we see these marked activities as completed, we can place them there. If you want them there, you can have them. If you don't want them, this is optional. But what this does for the learner is if the learner clicks onto this button, then the instructor knows that the learner went ahead and they read, or they were at least at the window or the screen that speaks about welcome. So you can hit complete if you like. Okay. We don't have to have that option there is what I want to say. Okay, so that's optional. Once the learner would have read all about the welcome, they choose next, mark it as completed if it's there, or they just next their way all the way through after their reading on whatever the instructor has placed there. This will be something about your beautiful instructor, how much what their credentials may be, all of what they want to say, or you don't even have to have anything there on the instructor. Remember, all of this is optional. It's only showing you what you can have if you would like. We would progress through the course. This is a good one to keep in your courses. It says, is my computer ready? And what we would tell the learner is that your computer you should have internet, you should have a web browser on your device, you should have access to the platform, you should have whatever is required. And the learner would know that, okay, for me to move forward, I think I need to go ahead and upgrade my device, or my device is quite ready. So we progress through chapter 0 about all of what the instructions from the instructor is to give us. Any questions on that? Notice now we got to a window that shows a graphics, a picture. So of course, it's not just only text. We can put in graphics and have some interaction with the learner. Okay. We are now at the table of contents. You don't have to have it. You can have it if you'd like. What the table of contents does for the learner is, okay, maybe they want to get a little ahead of themselves so they can jump through the course. But of course, remember, if they go back to their main screen, they have their chapters there as well. So this is just another way for the learner to see what's coming up in the course. So in reality, we are about to get started with chapter 1 because we're done with chapter 0. Any questions so far? If we wanted to go back, because maybe we missed something, I didn't really remember who my instructor was. Maybe let's go back and see what about this instructor, because I may know her or may not know them, or I just want to learn a little bit more. So we use the back button until we get to that window, okay? And then of course we proceed with using the right button. Next activity, and I'm ready to get started. You're ready to get started? Because we're moving into chapter 1, where the learning will begin. Notice my progress button has moved because I've gone through the part of the course that required me to do some reading and click complete and click complete and click complete. If I don't click the complete buttons, I will not get progress. So wherever you see a completed button, you must read the content, look at the content, choose complete, so that your instructor would know that you've made progress through those topics. Notice it says here, add an image and a description. That's up to the course developer or to the individuals that building out the course, or to the client if they want something special. You would see that it indicates that you can add an image or a description, or not. You don't have to have it, just saying that you have that option here. So maybe it's an exciting chapter and you want to add an image to, help the students to get them excited about what's coming up in the chapter. The same applies. We're in now chapter 1. And so we can click on to Communications Basic, because that's the next option up. That's the activity. Or we can choose the arrow at the bottom right. So I will take the option, and I like to, stay consistent. I chose next, the next arrow. I'm learning here about a topic. This is developing good communication skills. Notice it has the little placeholders that says, okay, you can add context here, remove context, whatever you want. And that's what I did. I added some context. It's all jumbled, but it's only just for us to kind of play with today. So I can do my reading, do my learning. I'll read about what's important when we communicate. Oh, a nice diagram. It shows me some of the percentages, what's weighing in on nonverbal, verbal, so forth. And then up in this particular activity is an assessment. I'm learning, but I'm going to be assessed. So there are some questions that come up. I would have to answer these questions, whatever the answer may be. I'm not too fond about, as I indicated in the last meeting, about the fill in the blanks, and we'll look at that because they pose a problem. Why they pose a problem is sometimes, especially if you don't put in every single possible correct answer and the version and the spelling, capitalization, this question can be marked incorrect. And we don't want that for the learner. So it is best if we don't have an instructor who is going to be there constantly watching for the input of the learner to say, oh, text is correct. It's just that they left off the last T. I know what they mean. So I can give them that as a correct answer and not an incorrect answer. An instructor would have to go in and make that change. That's the reason why I'm not fond of blank or fill in the blanks for this type of assessment or this type of learning. All right, so we'll put that in. I'm just putting something, and then we'll put another, fill in the blank, another multiple choice answer. So when there is an assessment, we answer the questions, or the learner will answer the question, and then they would actually click next. What next will do is it will mark the assessment or give them their, their grade. So it indicates that they've answered 3 questions. If they didn't answer one, it would say, oh, you have 1 unanswered questions and 2 answered questions, but you want to have all of the check marks there so that you can get the best possible score. Once the learner has clicked next in the assessment, they're not comfortable, they can go back previous. Let me change my answer here. This one looks like it has multiple answers, so I can put in as much as I want. But I'll change my answer now, and I'll say, okay, I'm ready now. Next again. If I'm still unsure, I can go back. But when I'm ready, I click submit all answers, submit again. And then my assessment will be marked. I got a 0. Oh, wow, I did horrible. Oh, no, I got 1 right on the guesses. So now I can see that I got a 33% on my assessment. Not so good. We can always set the assessment to be retaken. So, which is a good thing to do. We can let them take it, maybe say 2, 3 times. Let them retake until they get a better answer. Okay, we'll take the highest score. We can set the course up for that. But let's just say this was 100. I'm good with it. Then I will move on to my next activity. But I will stop here just to get your input. Any questions? Thumbs up? Mr. Bodie? Ms. Hinsey, Ms. Young? I know sometimes you have to step away.
As we're good with that, Ms. Small.
Great.
We're good.
Okay, Mr. Bodie, I saw your thumbs up. I know that Ms. Evans and Mr. Mortimer is all set. I don't have to worry. All right, but now I'm just going to take you through a bit more because it gets very monotonous and very repetitive as you go through a course. But that's almost the gist of it. Because guess what we do next? We click next. Next activity. And here's our reading. Some learning will take place, some instruction. And as I go through, this is telling me here that I can add another video, add a picture. There's things that I can do to develop my content. All right, the same thing that we're doing for your course. We've placed in some items, but we can change it all up, add in what you need, take out photos, add photos, put a video in, whatever you may want in your content, we can do that. And this particular one has another assessment. So I can go through and answer the assessment question. When I'm ready and I'm done, very monotonous, I hit submit and submit again. And I see my grade. If I got all wrong, it will tell me that. If I got 1 right, 2 right, it will also tell me that. I got 1 right on the guess, very good. And then we can retake it if we want, because I didn't like that 1 right. I probably go back again and get another 1 right. Just let me guess, I know that one was right. This is definitely going to be wrong again. But we take the assessment again, and we will see our new score if there is a change. The system will take the highest mark for the student. I had no luck. I still got 1 right. The next button will take you to the next activity or the reading. So here we have more reading, more instruction. It's on tips for small talk. For those who know what small talk is, you know you got to learn how to do that because that's a skill set. All right, so we read about it, and there's no assessment here, which is good. Just some teaching, some learning. And we can read it and mark it as complete. It's all up to the department and what the instructors want to see in the course, how we structure putting in the assessments, would we just leave for them to read on their own and mark it as complete when they're done. This simply means that I don't have to read this, you know. I can just scroll down and hit mark as complete. So I don't recommend this option for a course where you know you want to assess the learner, making sure that they would have read and understand what they would have read. But of course, something like, you know, just maybe saying, oh, these are the departments that we have. Something brief, something short, you can have a mark as completed and not an assessment. To proceed, we click next. In this topic where it says presenting yourself, there's some more video. There's a little bit about your professional reputation. There's no assessment. We just click mark this activity as completed. And I think that will bring us to the end of the first chapter, right? Because how do I know that? Because now I'm looking at chapter 2 right here. So, and it also shows me right here, if I scroll down in my window, that this is chapter 2. These are the topics I will be learning. I think I indicated that the brain is just only learning, but the brain gives us some assessment, allows us assessments as well. So my correction there. Now, if we wanted to, we can proceed with public speaking, chapter 2. But it's going to be very monotonous. We click next. We get to the topic. We read about the topic, and there's an assessment. We answer our assessment questions same way that we did the others. And then we proceed to next and submit. And the course will progress as such. Once, I wasn't lucky on this one, all wrong. Once the learner is done with the course, they have completed all of the assignments, they've gotten to the last chapter, then, of course, it would say that they have completed the course and with their final grade or final assessment. I chose the back arrow, which is up at the top left, to take me back to my dashboard for my course, my main screen. Because maybe I'm tired now, I'll probably shut this off and start back again tomorrow. So I'm able to do that, and the computer or the course will know that I am here at chapter 2, and I've just begun purpose of speech. I know that because I can see the check marks that's next to these activities. And once I come back, I log back in, I will begin right where I left off at. So that's the good thing about the LMS. It'll keep you moving, progressing through the course. Remember, this course is available until July, I think it was. So the user can come and take their time to progress through the course. There's there's lots more to go through. So we must make sure that, see, these don't have the check marks. So they would know where they're at because the check mark is going to indicate that. Any questions?
No, Miss Archer, it's pretty straightforward.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else? Maybe questions, concerns? Okay. So believe it or not, that's the brief introduction to the learning management system, which we access through the training management system called Genius. You now have the link. I want you to save that somewhere, because maybe save this, save it as a favorite, or copy the link and save it somewhere, because when it's time to get back into the Genius platform, you want to be able to do that. So you want to save that link. You can take your time. Notice I am doing very poorly as a student. I have a current grade of 22%. So my instructor is going to look at me cross-eyed because I'm not doing very well. But you will progress through, and hopefully the grades that you get I guess, Mermaid, you can get better grades and eventually pass the course. We normally put a passing mark on courses that are online because we want to incentivize the learner. So the basic passing mark is 70%. That's just generic across the board in online learning. You can up the grade, you can make the grade a little less if you want. I don't advise, but 70 or above is the passing mark. I will end here since there are no more questions. I will be able to send you the link for the training. And you can go back and look at the training. I'm going to stop the recording.